This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
The one that gets me is that when we talk about radio, I kind of remember Hitchhiker's Guide being played over here on radio. Okay. I don't know if it was public radio. It might have been public radio who did it.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm thinking it's public radio.
Okay, let's see.
Now that reminds me, when I was doing radio, I worked with a buddy of mine. He kind of got me into it, and we did live bands in the studio, and I involved in my own thing. But he brought the Hitchhiker's Guide book in, and I read the first couple paragraphs on the air.
Yeah, so you're right.
The interesting thing about that was
played it. Yeah,
the actual book.
The interesting thing about that was it started as a radio play first before.
Okay, it became a book. Okay, yeah. All I know of it, other than that, is the movie, which I liked a lot. So
the 2005. Did you never saw the 81 series?
No, I tried to find it. Couldn't. I think I just didn't have time to get to it.
The 81 series is on Amazon. I know that. It's on Amazon or Hulu.
Yeah. And on Fandango. Because that's what I bought it off.
Yeah.
Hey. But that's kind of the beauty of it. Like, I couldn't get into the books right away. It was just kind of very dry for me. But like I did watch the 81 miniseries when it hit DVD in the late 2000s, and we were overjoyed by just how nutty it was, how there was even special features that featured some off-color bloopers. And then, it wasn't long after that the movie came out, and without fail, like sometimes one of us will just be cracking wise-ass remarks to each other, and without fail, someone will say, what's, the origin of the life, the universe, and everything? 42.
42.
Then they had to know what the question was.
Yeah, that's the beauty of that whole punchline. It is like it makes everything make sense. It's just that's just how absurd it is. And I did have some fun trivia on Douglas Adams, and I had no idea he acted and wrote for Monty Python.
He did. Mm-hmm. He was in that fourth season. Him and Graham Chapman wrote a lot of stuff together because Cleese was gone by then. So Doug Adams came in, and I think he did the one sketch, The Light Entertainment War. He did some of that.
He apparently in '94 he was in a Mount Kilimanjaro trip, and he helped out with a British charity called Save the Rhino International.
Yeah,
and he actually dressed as a rhino for that charity and helped raise approximately 100,000 in UK bucks. And he was a supporter of the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund. So that's the irony with the trivia I was looking up about it. It wasn't just dolphins and mice he respected.
So when I saw 42 or heard 42 in the movie, I'm thinking, okay, are they saying the Secret of Life is when they integrated baseball? That's Jackie Robinson's number. That's the first thing I thought of,
Oh.
Or is it just they just picked 42? I don't. Can somebody explain what 42 meant? Or maybe that is.
Well, at the end, they had to give him the question. They come up with the question, and it was just something like, "What is 6 times 9?" or something like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I always took it as kind of a pi. 3.14. It just goes on and on and on. It's just
No. I'm on the opposite side of it. I got into the books before I even saw anything, and I'll tell you from a perspective of a teenage boy looking and reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, having that background and having Monty Python, loving science fiction.
Yeah.
The Hitchhiker's Guide was gold. It was it
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 hits
set
you
the
off the bat.
standard.
Yes.
Yeah, it did, and it set a pretty high standard that everything else I wanted to read from Douglas Adams had to at least scrape the bottom of
Right.
Hitchhiker's Guide.
They really haven't done anything with the other books, though, have they?
Well, they kind of condensed all the books for the TV show, because I can remember.
I do remember reading something about a storyline he had going on that part of it ended up like the ending of the TV series had like something from another book in it, I think.
Yeah.
Were there
landing on a prehistoric Earth?
Were there 2 TV series or just the one 6?
There's just one.
6 half-hour episodes. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought I saw something 58 episodes. That must have been a mistake. So
Yeah.
Maybe it's a documentary or podcast talking about Douglas
Yeah,
Adams.
that might be. Yeah, that could be. There's so much.
I know when I bought the series on Fandango, it's like they had like 20 or 30 other extra feature things.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Of course, if we're going to do a mini-series of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you have to stop at 42.
Just ask George R.R. Martin. Oh, wait. Can't even complete that far.
I was blown away by the cast of the movie, though. I mean, good grief.
Alan Rickman is the voice of the robot.
Yeah, and that was a very ironic choice because he's nothing like, that's the last person.
Marvin. But see, I think what I dug about the robot is the robot is a total Eeyore.
See, I thought you guys would get that when I quoted it.
I mean,
I got it.
If you want us to, I mean.
Well, the thing that gets me the most is like that cast was great because they had Martin Freeman as Arthur Dent.
That was the first thing I ever saw him in.
Yeah.
Who played
Mos Def was the other sidekick.
Mos Def was
Desmond Bay, as he's known now.
Yeah. I was confused by that because I said
same thing. That also was probably the first thing I saw him in. I heard of him. I had mildly heard part of his music. But
I did like Sam Rockwell as Zaphod
I keep forgetting.
Yeah, and he's doing a W thing, isn't he?
He's doing like W. Yeah.
Okay, that wasn't. And also, is he British? Sam
no, American AF.
So he's the Terry Gilliam of the
Warwick. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Warwick Davis was the body of Marvin.
Well, you're forgetting what's her name was in it too. She's English.
Zoe,
Stephen
No, she's American.
Well, I meant American. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Stephen Fry was the narrator. Simon Jones and a bunch of other guys. Kelly McDonald was the reporter.
Bill Nye shows up.
Yeah, Helen Mirren's
the voice of Deep Thought. John Malkovich. I also remembered from it as one of the.
John Malkovich was what?
He was
Huma Cavill.
Yeah, Huma Cavill. Yeah.
He was doing I'm sorry. I thought he was doing a little Tim Curry and Rocky Horror Picture Show when he.
I kind of got that, just that flamboyant,
and then when he rips his head off and all that,
And Warwick Davis was the robot.
Right, and Alan Rickman voiced him. Yeah.
Yep.
So
okay.
I think the thing I love about that thing is Marvin the Paranoid Android. He's like, Marvin, can you just? I suppose I can.
Right. Like I'm saying, he's the Eeyore of the show. He's just very self-detrimental, very cynical and defeatist.
Don't talk to me about life.
Don't talk to me about life. And I'd say that was the same year that they named an asteroid after Adams called the 25924 Douglas Adams.
Okay.
No.
The thing that gets me the most is like when they did the TV show and they show Starry Bartlefast showing like where the planets are made and stuff like that. They didn't have a lot in the way of special effects. Then when they showed it in the movie, it was just like amazing to look at.
Yeah, it was a fun
ride. The dolphins were well used.
I wanted to go on that ride with them. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, you can actually see workers out there working on the desert or the forest.
Did they ever come out with a theme park ride in some country or?
Oh no! I don't think
it'd be too ambitious. Too much of a cult movie.
It would have freaked out a lot of people. Go down and see like planets being.
Why are dolphins flying? Yeah.
So long.
Because they can't take a train. Ba-dum-bum.
Oh, a thought occurred to me halfway through the movie. I said, this movie is like if all the strangest creatures you see in Star Wars ran the galaxy.
I kind of took it as a bit of that and Fifth Element, but like it's
also
also.
a lot of references. Yeah.
I mean, it does kind of go beyond even that in Doctor Who by just using its humor to just kind of introduce some deep thought and then balance it with even more just nutty stuff in between. There's so many gags for anyone to be bored by it.
How many?
Don't forget that Douglas Adams also wrote a number of episodes of Doctor Who.
Oh, that's right. So there you go.
Including one that.
Go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
Including one that was never aired, but they aired parts of it for
the audio.
No, not the audio, but the episode, The Five Doctors. The episode Saga.
Okay.
Oh, that's really cool. I did forget that was on his resume.
How many people here are familiar with Red Dwarf?
Me.
I'm a snakehead
about it. Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm curious. There's a scene where they're in the ship and they're arguing with the computer. You know, and the computer's talking back to him and stuff.
Earlier season.
No, I'm talking about the movie even, and in the TV show there was too. But it made me think of the first episode of Red Dwarf where Rimmer, or is it Rimmer?
I think I know.
No, Rimmer's the hologram.
Yeah.
The other one. Lister is arguing with a toaster.
Yeah.
and that came out in '88, and it made me think that they must have got an inspiration for that from Hitchhiker's Guide.
Oh, they had to have. I mean, even just the robot himself. I mean, I know the creator said he was inspired by, he wanted to do a funny version of Star Trek, but given how you've mentioned all kinds of other references like Alien and Blade Runner, I'm sure they were eating up any kind of sci-fi and just saying, what's a wacky version of that we can do? You know?
Well, you got, at the beginning, you got Martin Freeman's house to make way for a freeway, and then Earth blown up to make way for something too.
Intergalactic Thruway.
You know, I thought of is Marvin Martian and Bugs Bunny. I got to blow up your planet because it's
just that.
I got to think that was a reference. You know,
it was that kind of cartoonish kind of thing. Is like it's kind of standing in for what would be something horrific in real life. Like, you know, we gotta blow apart a street, a few 5 blocks of a street to make way for a new stadium we're building and paying off the people to vacate. It was, but yeah, when you're doing it in a sci-fi, we're putting away the sorrow and anger and listening to just all this other nutty stuff. And it's like, see that
you just want to see what happens next. Yeah.
Well, there was they were throwing in irony as well. I mean,
absolutely,
with the highway, with them tearing down his house for the freeway or a highway or whatever it was, and they destroyed the earth for the same reason.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Roger Rabbit did that too with the freeway coming through.
Roger Rabbit, yeah.
Later, but or was it later?
And when you have all these armies that are going after them and everything, even though there's gunfights, it's not about buddy comedy and everything. It's more about, it's like, see, these are the evil corporations, these are the other goons, and we're using humor to, again, just move on to the next scene. It never loses a sense of the camp, but it's still thought-provoking too. I think that's why it's retained itself.
Well, and it was a slam at bureaucracy as well.
That goes back to Adams himself. Like, he struggled as a writer. After Monty Python, he apparently moved back in with his mother, and preeminent period, he worked as a hospital porter, a barn builder, a chicken shed cleaner. Can you imagine that? And even got employed as a bodyguard by a Qatari family.
I also just thought of Joni Mitchell. They'd pave Paradise and put up a parking lot. Which is based on urban renewal in LA. There's an actual.
Yes.
I think there's a Paradise Club. It's an actual, or something close to that. Dana Gould, I keep getting back to Dana. He talked about that on one of his shows.
But one thing I loved about that is when the Vogons show up and they're like, "What? You didn't get any of the idea about the plans? They were given to you 2 years ago. This needs to be more." They just blow the earth the fuck up.
Right. And like, Freeman about that his house. The same thing. We posted that we were going to do that. It parallels that.
But the thing I love is in the thing. He's like, you got to drink up to get on the Vogon spaceship because they're going to jump. They're going to jump on it. they have to drink a lot of water, a lot of beer, and grab like a shitload of crisps or peanuts,
Right.
because they're going to lose salt. They're going to lose salt in space, and I'm like thinking to myself, okay, this does kind of make sense, but it doesn't. It's like okay, drink up. Okay, here's a 50 pound note. Yeah, buy everybody else around the drink. The Earth's going to end today.
Wow.
That's right. Yeah, at the very beginning, right?
Well, it's he goes
And
to.
he thinks he's joking, but no.
Oh, I think.
Well, he goes to get him
He
from
said 12 minutes too. He had a time limit.
Yeah.
He goes to get him from the house, and he's like, "Workers of Earth, I bring good tidings of peanuts and beer."
But as you guys have all hit on, see, like, I think everybody should check this kind of British humor out. It's not just you gotta have lived in the UK or anything. It's more just like you say, just societal. It's talking about as many bigger as well as minor things. So and you gotta really just be mute deaf to just not get any of the humor.
Well, I mean,
it's not
if you bring
complex.
it appeals to.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it appeals to a certain type of person. You get, you bring a British humor over here to America, and some guys it's too subtle for them.
Or they'll just be like, it's not fast. It's like,
it's not
you
funny
can see
enough,
the rudest comedian do a slow bill joke just so he can curse, but you're not going to listen to this thought-provoking commentary that's also very amusing. But I don't know. It's just...
So there is an actual Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's like a laptop that Martin Freeman looks at.
Yeah.
So it's basically predicted Google.
It predicted Google. Apparently,
Yeah.
Elon Musk was a fan and put on his car dashboard the "Don't panic"
Yeah, big bright red letters. Don't panic
on his Tesla.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Thanos too, wiping out half the. Yeah.
Thanos! Oh my god!
And he's got the sidekick announcing everybody what's going to happen. You've
His
been
Infinity Gauntlet.
chosen to be part of this. It's a little Hitchhiker's Guide.
Oh my god. Apparently Douglas Adams, he gave a great quote about procrastination while writing in a hotel room with his editor, and it was, "I love deadlines."
He did.
It took you a moment.
He did another book after Hitchhiker's Guide called Dirk Gently and the
Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency.
I just found out reading the
that's
thing
based
today
off
that he
his
had
stuff?
something to do with
Wow.
that character.
How?
Who did?
Dirk Gently. It was a TV show on not too long ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the
there
guy
were
from
like
the
two
kid
books.
from Lord of the Rings was in it.
Elijah, yeah. I saw
Elijah
clips.
Wood.
I didn't know how long it was on. Apparently 2 years.
Yeah, and beyond the first book of the Hitchhiker's Guide, there were like 3 others, and I read them all. And as I read them, I got more and more disappointed because it wasn't quite what I was looking for. It wasn't quite hitting those standards. It had its moments, but by the time So Long and Thanks for All the Fish came out, it was like it almost seemed like Adams had a case of sequelitis.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you got Max Landis to thank for that. Oh,
I was reading the summaries, and in one of those books, find out that Trillian, she does something with Dent's DNA or something and creates a daughter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And her name is, what was it? Random Dent. But it was longer than that. It had stuff in between it too.
Oh, okay. So they want to get married.
No, I don't think they did.
Don't. Oh, they don't? No.
I only read the summary, so I'm not 100% sure. But
yeah.
How married do you want to be?
Oh, it's picked up his last name, I just assumed. So early on, I'm watching the character Qualtz. He's pretty much Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
Early in he looks like him and acts like him, and
the big green slimy guy.
Yeah,
I got to admit, they look better than they did in the TV series. The movie did.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Even though they still looked ugly as hell, but
impressive production.
Oh man.
And by the way, you just can't hold your breath in space. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It's too busy compressing your everything in your lungs.
It's just a show. You should really just relax.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey-oh.
I thought the same thing. Okay, this is a science fiction movie. Don't let it go.
Do you think
It's not the
Mystery
first time
Science
we've seen-
Theater was loosely inspired by some of it? I know their main inspiration was Lost in Space and all kinds of other
Yeah,
stuff.
because original premise is he's stranded up there. Yeah, I can see that.
All good,
Mad
comfortable.
scientists sent him up there. They're controlling the ship, and yeah, it's kind of I can see that. Also,
the whole
silent
holding
running.
the breath in space thing, that's been a trope in more than one movie.
Yeah.
Worst
Well-
example ever is Superman 4.
Superman.
He's flying around with Mariel Hemingway on the moon she doesn't have a, she just,
Oh God!
Pretty
No,
close.
it's Nuclear Man. Nuclear Man's flying her around.
Yeah,
Nuclear
yeah.
Man. It all comes back to freaking Nuclear Man. If it's not another bad Superman villain, it's Nuclear.
Well, now that is one movie that needs to be riffed.
yeah.
Oh yeah, especially when he gets to like the UN meeting, and you're just like, what on earth are they even talking about? Why are they even?
And I've said it before, that whole repair the Great Wall of China vision that Superman has,
Oh my god!
that
But
just drove me
they roped in
insane.
Gene Hackman again. They got
And apparently the comic book, had fixed a lot of plot holes, but you're just like, why did they never film those scenes? Oh, that's right, cheap budget.
Yeah.
Canon Films.
I've got the Superman 2 with they
Director's cut.
explain how he gets his powers back when Brando shows up again. Because they did shoot those first two movies simultaneously, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
You
you,
came
Richard
to me.
Donner.
Yeah, it's a
You
bonus
came to
feature.
me, get your powers back.
Well, I think it's the director's.
On my daughter's wedding. The day of my daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, it was his son's.
I don't know why. The way you said that kind of reminded me of the one Hope during The Princess Bride. Marriage.
Maui.
Marriage.
At least he didn't say, "Give me the butter."
Oh my word.
Deep cut.
Wow. Marlon Brando wrecks everything. Oh Jesus. I don't know where to go from there.
I hope you know what movie I'm referring to.
You win
Well,
the internet.
That green guy in Hitchhikers kind of looked like Brando a little
Okay.
at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, so there you go.
I haven't seen the movie, but Belushi uses that line on early SNL, Dueling Brandos, him and Peter Boyle, and that's one of his lines, "Give me the butter." That's a reference to Last Tango in Paris, so need I say more?
I know.
SPCA's on my case about that horse thing.
I can't believe this is not butter.
Oh my god. Release the Brando cut.
There wasn't enough time, Michael.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, a recut of the Godfather. He just brings out a Superman ray gun or something. I don't know.
Oh, his death scene is so haunting though, with the orange in his mouth, and there's always oranges associated with death in The Godfather. Yeah. His
I can't
grandkid
wait to
goes
discuss
like,
that with you guys. Yeah.
Well, there's a spoof movie called Mafia.
Oh,
Or
yes.
no, I'm wrong. I'm thinking of God Thumb, actually.
Okay.
The God
one of those-
Thumb.
Yeah, where he's like messing with oranges in his mouth and stuff.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
That's
Belushi
something-
does a skit on SNL, or first season of SNL, he does it too. The oranges thing. Fun.
They do have a lot of fruit in this show, kind of at times. It's like just for their food, but I think what I like about it is when they're eating or whatever, they're still observing, having very pleasant, mindful chats, and you don't feel like they're only having it because they're super smart. They're also just sharing. It's weird. Like, I think why people like it is they say they work in jokes, and then they work in the exposition on plot dump, and then they still leave you some food for thought that you, the viewer, are watching, are going to think to yourself while you're watching. And I kudos to anyone who can multitask that diligently, and it's not easy to do in a comedic setting. Most of the time people are impatient. They're like, tell me the next, punchline.
You know what? I usually hate vomit scenes in movies or TV, but I like to want to hear it. They use yarn.
Yep.
That was cool. That was neat.
And then when he becomes human, because
Yeah.
of the improbability drive. Yep.
Normality. Yeah. So the opposite of normality is pretty much infinite possibilities. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Douglas Adams or Freud, as they said on Lucifer.
And why did they? I mean, why did the improbability drive have to come up with a whale and a potted plant?
Or a couch, and
Because British humor.
yeah.
Oh,
Then the whale. Hey, I'm falling to the earth. Yeah, the whole soliloquy, the death of the whale.
Yeah. And then the Platt was thinking, not this again, or something like that.
Oh,
I love the church scene with Malkovich, and they all go "achoo," and he says "bless you." The whole congregation goes "achoo," and he goes "bless you." That was clever.
yes.
Also, it's kind of biblical reference. A new heaven and a new earth is in the Bible, and that's they kind of do that in the new earth in the movie.
And this escaped my notice. I didn't notice it was Stephen Fry doing the narrator voice.
That's what I said earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like you notice the voice, but he has a lot of atypical stuff he's doing when he's featured compared to all the different documentaries and comedy specials he's done. So I mean, it was just good casting. They went for atypical people instead of just who's hot shit right now,
Yeah.
Yeah, they played away from that. And they just got somebody ordinary. That's the great.
Because if they wanted to, they could have just gotten people who were already being hits over there, like Hugh Laurie, Rowan Atkinson. Like, no, we're gonna get all kinds of people who are good to work with. They got comedic timing, and let's get some international people in here.
Forgive me if you've already said this, but the voice of the computer that the one that created the Earth.
Yep, Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren.
Yeah. What's her name again in the movie?
Oh, it's like good somebody. It's
I threw my notes away.
I threw my notes away too. Just a minute, momento, por favor. Deep Thought.
Deep Thought. Yeah, that should have been an easy one. Yeah, she was a Saturday Night Live skit. Because isn't there something about Deep Thought in Saturday Night Live?
Oh, they did? Okay, that's cool.
Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
Jack Handy.
Not in recent. Not in recent seasons. There isn't.
Yeah.
Is that where they picked up? Is that was that a reference to SNL or no?
No, it wasn't.
It started on Mike Nesmith's Elephant Parts.
Okay.
And then it went over to, and then it just kind of stayed there because the guy who wrote it was the same guy who wrote for Mike Nesmith's television parts, Ed Handy. Okay. But today it was
got the monkeys to thank. All right, cool.
Do they still kind of run short films on SNL? I mean, it started with Albert Brooks, then you got Gary Weiss, then Deep Thoughts later, and yeah. And I remember I did read that the cast in the first season hated Albert Brooks taking so much time from the show.
None of them will top Mr. Bill.
Oh, that's right. Mr. Bill shows up. That's right.
See, what are they? Well, there goes Spot in the middle of traffic. What's he gonna do? Hey, Spot, come back, Spot.
Oh my God!
Spot got ran over.
Then
that was the precursor
drives the car.
That was pretty much the precursor to TV Funhouse.
Yeah. Oh, the ambiguously gay duo.
Yeah, stuff like that.
That's a lot, yeah. And of course, all the commercial parodies.
Had to, man. We had crazy commercials. We still do. Look at any of your local commercials. You'll see the craziest local car dealership ads, and you're like, how did this make it to air?
When did this trend start of repeating the one commercial later, too? That's been happening a lot.
Oh, yeah, just lazy. It's like you couldn't find any other block. It's like...
Right. Oh, it's more on more.
Or maybe they just paid extra for it to be aired more than once.
There you go. If you didn't get it the first time, if you watched it muted,
let's boycott the companies that do that.
Yeah. Boycott, yep. You're killing
that's sexist.
Yeah, boycott.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's person caught. Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
Yeah, boycott. Yeah.
Peter Griffin has entered the studio.
Sorry, guys.
I know
Well-
you're always doing different voices, but I'm sorry. It sounds like a Family Guy.
I have a
Yeah.
golden age of radio or golden age of comedy elements. Back in the radio days, they were complaining about during the show. They were complaining about commercials. It's advertising. There's too much advertising.
Too much
Yeah, way back.
I'm mad as hell. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do it.
If you're feeling kind of ducky, and you-
Dookie? Donkey?
Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny. Phil, yeah, yeah. We don't need you this week. Oh, come on, Jack. That's from the Jack Benny Mouse one. Because who was it? Don Williams comes on. He starts doing a commercial. He's like, he was the announcer. He's like, he says, oh, come on, Jack. I never get to have any fun.
I think I mentioned this before. W.C. Fields' radio show with him and Edgar Bergen.
Oh God.
It was sponsored by Camel cigarettes. And then Fields came up with the Chester nephew, so you could advertise Chesterfield cigarettes subtly, but not so subtly.
My grandmother.
He didn't like the sponsor or something, or just was messing with the sponsors. That's
I
clever.
remember my grandmother telling me, "Oh, we used to listen to Edgar Bergen, Charlie McCarthy and Edgar Bergen all the time." My father would be like, "Yeah, it's just a guy talking into the microphone. It's not really. He didn't really have a dummy on his lap,
You can't tell. How do you know his lips aren't moving? Yeah.
Oh, he was the worst ventriloquist I've ever seen in my life.
There have been some good ones.
Who's the one that did It's All Right?
Yeah.
Oh, Senor Wences.
Senor Wences. What was his name?
Otto and George was great. I loved Otto and George.
Okay.
They were
you and Otto.
Oh God, it was just so funny to watch because it was an X-rated puppet act, ventriloquist act, right? So he would like it was like George would be like Otto would be like, so George, what do you think about so and so? I hate her, Oh, you can't say that. What? I hate the cunt,
Oh my God.
It was just, you guys got to listen to him when he would be on Opie and Anthony because it was just like he would just like he'd bring the puppet in and like the puppet was like an extension of his
puppet
character.
has a mind of its own. Remember, James?
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
The question I have is, with all these dummies running around, how many of them actually like ham? Now there's a deep cut for you.
How hammy do you want to be? Ham-fisted.
What was that
Remember
Mystery
Family-
Science Theater movie called?
Devil Doll.
Devil Doll.
Devil Doll. That's a
Devil
good
freaking
one.
doll. Yeah.
That's a good one. Well, they're all good, but I remember
still
a
think of
family
it-
trip here.
Who's on first?
We're still talking
Albert
about
Brooks
puppets.
doing his
And they're still
yeah,
going at the same time.
And he'd drop it to the floor, and
I still think the best one was Albert Brooks doing his ventriloquist act. And he's like, and now I'll drink this glass of water, and my puppet Hervé will sing the girlfriend, and he's drinking it. And he's just singing, long and ten.
You know who else did the worst and still the best ventriloquist act? Norm Macdonald.
Oh yes. And I know that.
Yeah, he had a act going. Yeah, had a little act going. And the guy I was doing all the straight work, and this guy was just a horrible racist. I heard him do it and kind of go into it on a Dennis Miller show, and I was just cracking up because it's intentionally bad, but that's what makes it awesome.
Wait, who's he talking about with that?
Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald, the guy.
Norm Macdonald was talking about what though?
Yeah, the guy who did the thing, and he did,
Oh yeah.
And I said crack whore.
I liked him in My Name is Earl when he was being Burt Reynolds' character's son.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
That's not my name. It's Terry Ferguson.
Terry Ferguson. Yeah.
Well, Albert would show up with a speak and spell toy too, and hit the letters to make sentences too, like on Tonight Show. A, C, you know, he just hit a letter on the thing and it would make us answer to Johnny Carson's questions or something. That was clever. Kind of the same thing.
Kind of like what Mel Blanc and Jack Benny. Mel Blanc would dress up like a Mexican character, like a with a big hat. Just excuse me, are you waiting for something? See.
Yeah.
See,
Are you waiting for the bus? See. And what is your name? Sai.
Yeah.
wow.
Well,
And
he probably stole it from that. Yeah.
Oh no, Brooks went like one step forward with that.
Right.
But the Jack Benny Mel Blanc thing is hilarious. My father and I used to do that when we were younger because if I was having a bad day, he says, "Are you waiting for the bus?" See. And your sister's name? What? Jack Benny go, "Oh, I'm afraid to ask this one." And your sister's name? What's her name? So, see.
See, so yeah.
There's a great Rob Reiner documentary about Albert Brooks. It's on, I think it's on Prime.
We've only been talking about it.
They show all that stuff. Yeah, a lot of that.
Dad died at the Friars Club.
Right during his act.
Park your carcass. That was my father said. That was Albert Brooks' father. Park your carcass. He goes, the fragments from the moon. And he was on stage and he was doing an act and it was a roast. It was a roast for somebody, and he died.
He literally died of laughter.
Right.
And they said,
Now, wait a
"Is there
minute.
a doctor in the house?" And they thought he was telling a joke.
Right.
And they were like, "No, he literally keeled over and died." You know.
And the act was called "Park Your Carcass."
Yeah.
Park your carcass. Yeah.
That's kind of apropos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the park your car. Yes, park your carcass. That was his character's name. Park your carcass. You know. So sit down. Sit your ass down and then park your carcass. You know. So
Who played the LSD in
Dick Shawn.
Dick Shawn? He died on stage as well.
Yep.
And the audience thought it was a bit. Yeah.
Is the Dick Shawn the one that was in Mad World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sylvester! I'm coming, Mama. I'm coming.
Yep, that guy.
Is that the one where the phone keeps ringing and he's dancing with the girl and
He's dancing with what's her name? Barry. What was her name?
That's a really funny scene.
She was stoned during that scene.
I could tell. Yeah.
You know.
I got that. I gotta watch that again. That's classic. That whole movie.
Anyway, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Hitchhiker's Guide.
Got anything more to say about Hitchhiker's Guide?
So I have seen a lot of video games kind of have Easter eggs that are clearly references to it, but I think I see some fanfare for it still on different video games and
absolutely.
cartoons.
Well, it had its own little Easter egg in the movie because there's one part where there's two parts. One of them is the original guy who played the main character, Arthur Dent, is the bartender in the pub, and then
the original robot.
Then the original robot appears in one of the sketches. So there's one part where he comes by the new, and like he just gives the look of like, that's me, you know, like that's the joke in there, you know.
Yeah, it's in some sort of like waiting. There's all these aliens and stuff in a waiting line, and the old robot from the TV series is in that line.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
What show was this again? This was
the movie.
The movie.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to look for that next time. I watch it.
It's kind of like in Raiders, you see 3PO and
R2-D2,
and then Arthur Dent
on the wall. Yeah,
the guy who played Arthur Dent. He was a holographic image of a head, and he was talking. And I think it was when they landed on the one planet, and the planet attacked him.
Yeah.
There's a little Wizard of Oz in there too, with the giant head. You know. And you lion. Yeah.
That's I think that was Arthur Dent, the guy who played Arthur Dent before. I think that was him.
Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, yeah, that's always fun with like TV series like The Flash would bring back characters from the CBS series and use them on the new show and stuff like that.
Nice.
Well, they even brought back the guy who played
to the roots. Pay tribute to the roots of the show, sure.
Yeah.
Or the movie.
Hell yeah. Roll Tide.
So, Tom, what would you think if they ever tried to make any of those other books into movies?
I would think it'd be so convoluted and
Too much.
just it's you'd have to the only way I think you could even realistically do it would be and do the whole series would be do it as a cartoon.
Okay.
That would be the best way to do it. Just have the voices
I wonder
there.
if they should like
draw whatever
Go
update.
around it, you know.
I wonder if they should update to the daughter, that random dent girl,
Random
and like
Dent.
tell stories with her or something.
Or Tom, is it some stuff just works better as a book? A little
Yeah,
bit?
a lot of it, a lot of the stuff that works better as a book, and just some of the things that they can do with the written word that they really can't translate into a visual medium yet, and I hope they never do. There's some things, just
We hope.
yeah, there are just some things from the books that I prefer to keep them that way, and kind of keep them.
Yeah, and I think
always
this
had
is-
an issue with MTV because I loved music and the video would restrict it to the director's vision of the song. Where if you hear it yourself, you get your own, you know.
Yeah.
And Stephen King on writing talks about that. Don't over-explain things because the reader can picture
Fill it
the
in.
character. Yep.
Well,
And that's better writing. You got to edit that, you know. So and that's
I
what
always see there's this I'm sorry. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, I'm done.
There's this thing I've always said, like Douglas Adams, and then there's Terry Pratchett, Discworld, and that's they're kind of like in that same area of like, you know, making something so comical, but you know, doing it like in such a way like it's playing with, you know, like you're playing with science fiction. You know, and that's the great thing about Hitchhiker's Guide is that you're playing with the idea of science fiction. You know, the scene where, you know, the sperm whale is falling down to the ground, you know, and it's having the thoughts go through its head. You know, it's like it's a
having
vase of flower. Yeah,
a
it's going
metaphysical
through
moment. Yeah,
metaphysical moments, and you're
I
just
need a
sitting there-
moment, man.
Yeah, it's like that's what makes it so funny. You know, it's like the sperm whale's falling down, and having these metaphysical moments. You know, what am I doing? And then bang, it hits the ground. Or I love the fact when the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you know, Vogon poetry has made people like, you know, their eyes explode and their ears, like, you know,
and it was the third worst. And it was the third worst in the galaxy. So they were the third worst.
They were the third worst, yeah. And I think that's the thing I love about it, is like that just explains to you what Vogon poetry is. And it's, you know, and they had the Pangalactic Gargle Blaster, which is a drink.
Yeah.
We have tried to make, my friends and I tried to make one time when we were younger, and we could never. We were trying to think. You know, it was what was the description of it again?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't know, man. I did my research, but not that research.
No. So we were trying to figure out how to make it. And we made it one time. It was like, it's like the one time we tried making it, all the saliva from our mouths dried out. Because we mixed all this stuff together, and it was just like all the saliva from our mouths dried out, and we were like, okay.
It'd be I imagine it would be like you know, when you're at the roller skating rink and you like put all these different pops in your drink.
Yeah,
one drink. So you did the same thing with alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did the same thing with alcohol, and then we put as a garnish we put a sweet tart in there to hit, like, you know, give it that little bit of flavor. And all of a sudden it was like we drank it, we all drink it, and we're like, oh, this is good. And also we're like, anybody's mouth feel dry? You know, we had to like go to the store down the street and like buy like 2 gallons of water. And
Well,
just
you know,
chuck
they
it
hear
down,
things
you
like
know?
I hear, you know, beer dehydrates you, so alcohol dehydrates you as well. So if you got all these mixtures in, I can imagine it did it like super quick.
Oh God!
No idea.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Oh, you know, we were just trying to figure out how to make it. We're just like saying, okay, should we put this in? Yeah, put the vodka in, and put a little bit of the that in. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, the Goldschlager. Well, you know, we're just trying to figure out, like, you know, how much to make it, you know, get us drunk, but not to the point of like being stupid, but being like, you know, very like, you know, like our brains would open up to, like, you know, the universe and stuff like that. And then we're just sitting there, we're just like, no, our mouths are pretty dry, so this sucks. Yeah.
So maybe you guys needed to try some peyote or something.
Yeah, I think we need to do that. I think we need to get some peyote, magic mushrooms, or
Oh,
something.
baby, yeah.
Yeah.
So Trillian comes up with gets a hold of that gun that. How does
I
that?
wish I had a trillion.
What was that gun called again? It was something weird.
But it makes it doesn't work on women.
Hitchhiker's Guide.
Well, it makes people see the point of view of the person.
gun.
The point of view for the women, but it doesn't work on women because they already have it together. I guess is
It makes the victim see things.
Yeah, because he pointed at her and she goes, "I'm already a woman."
Yeah, there you go. That's kind of Kevin Smithy. Yeah, I like that. Also, the end of the movie, everybody comes back.
Yeah.
But it's the same people that were there before, so it's kind of like the end of Endgame when Stark snaps his fingers and
it all goes back to Endgame.
It ends with Earth being recreated.
I need to get a buzzer in here, and we'll just buzz each other each time we make a reference.
And then Arthur Dent's like, he asks Arthur Dent if he thinks if there was anything new he wanted to add to it, and he says, "Yeah, not me." Like,
not
he's not gonna.
Me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Or if it needs anything else, and he says, "Yes, not me."
Not me.
Yeah, and that to me is one of the things that kind of made. I was afraid of what that would do in the movie because in the book, Earth stays destroyed.
Yeah.
Well, don't they? You're talking book. I'm sorry.
They didn't want to do Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Yeah. There we go. There's another reference.
Between the Planet of the Dents.
And I'm trying to remember, the TV show ends with them like on a primitive Earth or something. The TV show.
So he says not me, but does he stay with Earth? I can't remember how.
No, he goes with them because they're going to go to the restaurant at the end of the universe.
Oh, that's right. But he abandons Trillian.
And one of the books is actually called called Restaurant?
But then they read
Restaurant at the End of the Universe.
Yeah.
There was then there was Life, the Universe, and Everything.
Life, the Universe, and Everything. Hitchhike. So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, and the Restaurant at the End of the Universe.
And it was the 5 books. There was 5 books in a trilogy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, 4? Is it 4 or 5?
They had 5 books from what I read, and it was supposed to be a trilogy.
Okay, so it's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right?
Restaurant at the End of the Universe.
Yeah.
Life, the Universe, and Everything.
Life, the Universe, and Everything. So Long and Thanks for All the Fish.
For All the Fish.
Yeah.
I feel like we're missing something.
Yeah, the 5th book.
Oh. It all comes back to the 5th book.
No, it's 4.
I read it somewhere. I could have swore, unless there was a 5th book.
There was a 5th. It's called Mostly
There we
Harmless.
go. Tom's gonna
Mostly Harmless. Yeah. Yeah, Mostly Harmless. That's like, but isn't that like the one that's like after? Like I think they published it after he died or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With like leftovers he had for a script or for the writing.
Yeah.
Mostly Harmless sounds like a Me Too defender.
That sounds almost like a Monty Python sketch.
Yeah.
Mostly Harmless.
That's the best part of the book was when they were updating the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy about Earth, and they called it Harmless, and Arthur Dent took offense at that. It's like then Ford Prefect came in and said, "Okay, we'll make a revision." Then you added the word mostly.
Mostly, yeah.
Mostly harmless.
See, that's just awesome because it's like that you want to work in doubt. It's like mostly. Oh wait, whoa, mostly.
Yeah. I love the thing about the universe. Well, the one thing you have to realize about the universe is it's so big. I mean, it's so big. In fact, nobody really knows how big it is. Mm-hmm. And it's like you just hear that you start giggling because it's supposed to be this dictionary, and they're like, how big is? Oh, it's big. It's very big.
They can't
even figure out how big it is.
I was going to write that down, but I'm like, there's too many words in this.
Yeah.
That reminded me of 9th grade math class when the math teacher says, "I don't know what the biggest number, the highest number is." I said, I didn't say it, but You idiot! All you got to do is add 1 to it. You never. No matter how big the number is, just add 1 or multiply by 2 or something. It's going to get bigger.
No,
and bigger.
man. The highest number is 420.
I just knew you were going to talk in a
42.
The highest number is infinity and beyond.
No, it's not, man. It's
42. I got you.
Oh, man.
That's the life. That's the answer to life. The universe. 42. What does that mean? It's just take it.
It's a baseball reference. Leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
I can I get it? It's got to be tied in somehow. Well, that's when they segregated baseball. The black and white get along together.
See?
There you go.
Oh,
Sure.
man. It all comes back to sports. But see, this is why I was really looking forward to it, because I was just like, and I apologize for getting so emotional during the Mr. Rogers episode, because it was just a big reminder of you're not going to get that pure amount of dedicated educational shows anytime soon. Yeah. And that's kind of where I was with this. I'm like, see, this is a gentle show, but it's also just, again, just very well thought out. Like, it's not, haha, you got to see that movie to get the reference, or you got to be a mathematician to get all these, science and,
it's how it's planned out, in my opinion.
Planned out, yes.
Using the book as reference.
Yeah.
Instead of, you got to talk about this and that. And it's just like, nah, yeah, there's the best kind of humor. I'll say it. I've said it once. I'll say it again. When you have diverse humor, there's something for everybody.
Yeah, it's like, what are they going to do next? Then the fly swatters show up and smap them in the face when they're on.
I don't remember. Was that in the book, Mike or Tom?
I don't believe so. I think they took a lot of liberties in the movie. So, and that's kind of where I'm saying it's okay to take some liberties, but if you're taking the story itself and using it as inspired by, and then you do something completely off filter that completely, then you're playing with fire.
Yeah, if you
assuming it's not already lit.
Cam, do you know how well this movie did in theaters?
Let's look.
Let's look.
Because I'm guessing it didn't do great. I mean, it might have done okay.
I think the reviews were good.
It was no Red Zone Cuba, but still.
It wasn't Monos either. 46 to 60 million budget.
It wasn't Space Mutiny either.
Oh my god.
Let's think.
It made 104.5 million, so
okay.
I guess that's a success, assuming they didn't spend too much on marketing. I mean,
well, then you got video rights and streaming, and
it was by Buena Vista, and Touchstone, so it was one of those
video sales streaming.
Yeah, it was also one of those.
I just paid $4 to rent it.
When it came out, my uncle, who always liked something kind of light and fun, recommended it to us. So we went out to Blockbuster, having already seen the show, and we were just like, "Yeah, this is very easygoing."
Yeah.
I saw it and I liked it okay, but I knew watching it, says there's nobody that's in my family that's gonna like this.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing too, is when you see something that is objectively like very well done and everything, but you're like, I can only talk about this with like people online. If I bring this up to someone, they're just not going to be patient, or it doesn't have anyone they know. So people.
My brother and sister-in-law saw the Jim Carrey, Andy Kaufman movie. I can't remember the name of it.
Man on the Moon.
Man on the Moon. Yep.
Love that movie.
And I was getting my hair cut by my sister-in-law. She says, "Yeah, this is a Mike movie." We were
watching, what he's supposed to mean?
Mike would like this,
In that respect, it reminds me a lot of a movie that I absolutely love that I don't know many people who would enjoy, and that's Seeking a Friend for the End of the World.
I love that movie. We've talked about
Seeking a Friend for the End of the World.
I love it.
Oh, that's with Steve Carell,
Keira Knightley, and all kinds of other comedians and everything. I love when William Peterson just shows up and then gets like randomly dies. And you're just like, oh my god.
I love finding these small movies people don't know. Like, there's an early Kevin Costner movie called Fandango, which I've loved for years.
Yes, I love
It's
that
a
movie.
great little movie. It's a little preposterous, but it's just fun. It's
a college movie where they're going off to become grown-ups, and they're going off to find Dom.
It just gets lost in the shuffle
And
because
there's some great shots of like when they're in the cemetery and they're talking about Vietnam, and you see all of a sudden they're on the battlefields of Vietnam with the fireworks, and
that's just it. It kind of got.
There's a great cut where Kevin Costner's thinking about the girl, and then they cut back to they cut back to him, and it looks like he's crying, but he's laughing. Just
there's this whole story that the girl was Kevin Costner's first, and then his friend is actually going to marry her.
Right,
you guys know it's like the back of your head. That's awesome. So I think it's a great
little movie. And I think it's a Spielberg associated thing.
I think so, or Keston, but it was just one of those movies. It kind of got lost in the shuffle under Breaking Away, I think. But yeah,
give me 2 chili dogs and a Coke. That's from the movie. At the Sonic or whatever it was. First and second fallopians. Those are books in the Bible. Anyway,
well, I love the part where he does like the whole stone soup thing with the wedding.
Yeah,
everybody to make like
good reference.
But it was just really. Yeah, it was a student film titled Proof, and then when the guy who made it was a period of Greek life at his alma mater, Baylor University. He didn't want to portray the Baylor in a bad light, so he used the University of Texas.
Okay.
And Steven Spielberg saw the film, and funded it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good movie. I mean, Kevin Costner was in it, Judd Nelson, Sam Robards.
They wind up camping out on the set.
The teenage girls that before they go off to the cemetery and they light off the fireworks. The teenage girls. One of the girls was very familiar to me, but I can't think of her name. She was
Was she hot?
Deborah Lee Scott. Deborah Lee Scott.
And
E.T. Daly.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, that's okay. You're right.
Yeah,
JJ got it. But yeah, they wind up camping out at the set of Giant.
Yeah.
They filmed Giant. Yeah.
Oh my God.
A lot of neat little touches. I love. There's one of my favorite lines in there. It says, "What can anybody say good about the state of Texas?" And goes, but then that one guy goes, "I like the way it's shaped," which is really, it is cool.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking Texas, Cam. Don't worry.
My
brother's down there right now. By the way, he's near.
Plenty of us.
My brother's down near Dallas right now. Or
there's
Houston.
Affordable stuff here, but we can't say we like everything the state does. It's all good.
My wife's father lived in Texas, and we visited him a couple times, and that guy had guns everywhere.
Oh my God!
He had his armchair. He had like an armchair where you could open up the arms, and he can get guns out of his armchair. And every room had at least 2 or 3 guns in it.
So
and he liked to get it out and wave it around. And I'm
look at my gun porn, baby.
I'm sitting there just trying to avoid where he's pointing it at.
It's like, don't fucking point it at me.
So Oswald kills JFK, and it's like, nobody's gonna, I'm sorry.
No one's gonna know Oswald.
Oswald kills JFK. Oh, no one's gonna shoot him. They're in Texas.
I'll take credit.
Yeah.
I'll kill that mofo for free.
There's 2 movies that were really good that were set like in the South, Texas. Fandango, from what I remember. There's another movie called Twister, not the
tornado movie.
No, not the
one that's movie. Not that movie.
Yeah.
The movie that's not that movie that sounds like that movie, but it seriously is not that movie.
Well, there's another movie called Twister. I know about Twisters. It's a different movie.
Yeah, Twister.
I'm guessing that's the older
Titty Twister. You can do.
No,
that's the bar on From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes.
Oh.
1989 film. Yeah. It was Susie Amos, Crispin Glover, Harry Dean Stanton, and Dylan McDermott. It was in Wichita, Kansas.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a comedy drama.
But not the tornado movie.
No.
There's
Okay.
a tornado on the cover, and it doesn't involve tornadoes. Okay. Tim Robbins is in it. Oh my god. All right.
I love the premise in Hitchhiker's Guide that the mice run the world too.
Oh yeah.
Having killed 10 mice in the garage over.
Well, what's funny is at the end of
Who's the real mouse now? Yeah.
at the end of that movie, they kill them. He squashes the mice, and they look like those little girls that were in.
Oh, that's right.
You know what they were asking the computer at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
It kind of wraps around and goes, circles around sometimes.
Nice.
Anyway.
Oh, fun stuff.
Zoe Deschanel has great eyes too. Man, her eyes are really expressive. She's got big eyes, but they're not freaky looking.
I'm a bigger fan of her older sister Emily, but she's one of those. She can sing and do comedy. It's just one of those where you're just like, she's one of those. I had to keep the art separate from the artist. Like,
did you ever check out her show? What was it?
New Girl, yeah.
New Girl, yeah.
I watched some of it.
That's right. She was on New Girl, which I never saw.
It was one of those where it's like, okay, so talented comedic actress, apparently very difficult behind the scenes, but I think this was before the ego got a little out of check.
Aren't women always a pain on the set, though?
Oh my god! Wow.
I wonder how much of that is just people don't like to work with women.
She's apparently very over the top, but. Yeah. She's not as bad as other actors and actresses who we've seen where we're like, oh my god, someone is going to trip you if they see you next time. Yeah, I mean, this was around the same time I saw her in other stuff like Tin Man, the Sci-Fi Channel Oz themed miniseries.
No, I missed that.
Yeah,
her star was pretty much growing at this rate, where she was been in some other movies like Manic.
Did she play Dorothy?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, James has seen it. Nice. Okay.
Oh, you're talking about that Sci-Fi Channel thing. You mentioned that.
Yes.
Yeah. What was it called again? Tin Man? Or
Oz.
Yep.
No, Oz is a different thing altogether.
I was going to say Oz. When you said Oz, I was thinking of that.
Don't tempt me.
Now, hear me out, kid. Yeah.
Another example of Wizard of Oz reference in a TV show.
Hear me out. I have an idea. We do a Tin Man and an Oz crossover event. It'll be awful.
Gary Bossel produces it.
I'm going to give you something other than a brain.
What, does the Tin Man get arrested? And then he ends up in prison?
An arresting performance, yes.
A rusting performance?
A rusting performance. Oh, there you go. If he's in the showers, he's going to rust.
And Oz will need a lot more than just an oil can.
Or he needs a little oil to take somebody from behind, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, my
You know, it's a great
God.
line.
How did we get here?
I don't know, but I love it in Wizard of Oz. Oil can, and then Scarecrow goes, oil can what?
Oil can.
It's in the movie.
That's true. Oh, man. So is Marvin the most cynical robot, or is that Bender on Futurama, or what?
Bender's a more angry robot.
Bender's a more pissed off robot than anybody else. I think.
Which is so wild because they're robots, you know.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna have to say it. The most cynical, the most dark robot I think I've ever seen. Jeff Peterson.
What about Yul Brynner?
I see not many people have seen the Late Show with Craig Ferguson.
Oh my god! It took me a moment.
What about Yul Brynner?
Oh God, yeah.
Rivers in Westworld, not Crow T Robot.
Jeffrey Peterson would eat him for lunch.
I mean, Crow T Robot says, I want to decide who lives and who dies. So I mean, I don't know. But yes, well played. Yes, Craig Ferguson.
He takes too much joy out of writing Earth versus Soup.
Bro, you took Earth versus Soup and added jivey 70s characters.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Now, Mike, about the Dashikis. What size do you take again? Don't think I'm Soul Brother.
Oh my god.
I have that.
I'm going to whip off this dashiki and rock your world.
About the DVD set.
I'm going to rock your world.
Yeah, I got that, and I got the Tom Servo.
Yep.
Yes, you did. You did.
But I didn't get a hold of the Crow. But I do have Crow and Tom Servo as Pop.
I have my Crow and servo puppets, but it's going to take a minute to get them out.
I guess
You got the big puppets.
They've had
Mhm.
Frank and Trace action figures too, but if you
What?
can call them, I thought I've seen those somewhere.
Let me look up. Dr.
It
F.
probably costs an
is-
arm and a leg.
No, that's Johnny Torso.
Yeah.
Johnny Torso.
Vendagut.
He's huge.
I'm huge.
He's long. No, Johnny Torso.
I'm
He's
long.
long.
And try me, extra long.
I'm not seeing
Got
them.
some
They must have
Red
been.
collector pins too. I got a lot of Mystery Science Theater stuff.
They must be customs, I guess. I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing.
Yeah,
I'm thinking they were custom.
I think there might have been a joke somewhere. Somebody might have made something up like it was.
I think someone made their own figures and posted
Yeah.
it on Facebook. I remember seeing something like that.
Yeah, I think that's where I saw it.
I did used to see someone who made their own custom Legos.
Oh yeah.
And, those were
Yeah.
always fun. I'm like, how do you even get those parts to create this character? Customize. Oh, Legos used to be the shit. I didn't keep
No,
up with it.
I'm doing occasional Funko Pops. In fact, I just saw one I've got to have.
Oh, so you and my sister
saw
would
it.
get along.
I saw Evil Ash.
Evil
Nice.
Ash, not Ash Williams. Evil Ash.
Yeah. For the Funko Pops, and I've got to get that one because
How
I've got
is he
like this whole
portrayed?
section
Like-
of my room has got like all all Ash figures and stuff.
Does he have just the demented eyes, or does he let out the F bomb? What does he do? Oh. Hey, snow globe with satellite love.
Yeah. Kickstarter reward last time.
You lucky duck.
Season 13.
What do you make of the spaceships that are in Hitchhiker's Guide? Because it's just kind of like they're just fun. They're not.
Well, the Volgot ship just looks like a big giant bulldozer. in my opinion. Like,
Well, it looked bigger in the TV series actually.
Yeah.
In the movies, it was just a bunch of ships surrounding the Earth.
Yeah.
Sometimes a bulldozer is just a bulldozer. Unless
It's Killdozer.
Damn
in space.
I wanted to say it first. Shoot.
Killdozer. I can't
Not to be
believe you haven't
confused
seen
with
it
the
yet.
bulldozer.
Bulldozer. Wow.
you mean,
That's what you introduce. That's what you do in the Senate.
No, that's what you do if you're in Arlen, Texas.
Oh.
Oh, I'm
the L
only a
reference.
bill.
I'm only a bill.
I'm
on
just a
Capitol
bill.
Hill.
Yeah, I'm only a bill.
And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Junction, what
What's your function? Hooking up words and
Picking
phrases
up
and
words.
poses.
Bringing it back to Bob
Words.
Dylan. How about
It's
that?
always goes back to
Phrases.
Bob Dylan.
those they're on Disney Plus.
Are
were.
they?
Schoolhouse
The
Rock?
Schoolhouse Rock
Schoolhouse
stuff is
Rock,
on.
Yeah, I looked some of those up. I don't know
Wow.
if they're on there now, but a couple years ago I watched them. A few of them.
I have hope for the human race now.
No, I lost all hope for the human race because Schoolhouse Rock was on. Then one day, Mary Lou Retton came on. And it was all over. I wanted to watch Schoolhouse Rock, but no, Mary Lou Retton.
I mean,
Mary Lou Retton took over the world.
someone had to be the athlete.
I'll put that Ash figure over in the messenger.
Everything is better with
Nice.
My cat's checking out the snow globe.
Do you want to build a snow globe?
There we go.
I went there. I freaking went there.
Oh,
Yeah, I got it out on the messenger.
Nice.
Too bad no one can see it in the
Oh.
voice message.
Well, I've got.
For people,
I've got I'm
people
u- I'm
playing
using
along
two
at home, it is very nice.
Oh,
I'm
it
using
is
two different iPads here,
nice.
so
It is nice. Oh, baby, it is nice.
I'm lost.
I don't know where we've gone. I think we've
I don't
gone
know
down
that
where
brings a
we
whole new meaning
are.
it brings a whole new meaning to.
I think
Hey,
we're
Steve,
in,
come get some.
We're in a wormhole So
Hit the normality button.
See, if we're going to talk about wormholes, you're going to be over here for a little while. Maybe you're going to be over
Next
here for a
week
little
on
while.
Cosmos.
Then we're going to talk about a little bit of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You're going to go over here, talk a little bit about Star Wars. Maybe you go over here and talk a little bit about Space Mutiny. Maybe bring it back into
The Expanse,
Manos.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, Monos, everything else. I mean, what would a mirror universe?
There's been an engine imbalance during warp speed, and now we are hitting a wormhole.
I feel like we're in a
there's a reference nobody will get.
In a wormhole.
No, the engine imbalance.
Mystery Science Theater, did they have a Bobo go out to take a dump and then he dragged him into the Roman times through?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, he does.
I don't want to see what you're doing over there.
Lawgiver. Can you not watch, please?
Or did he go first and they chased him through, and then by the time he got there, he was
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know the movie you're referencing, James, but go ahead.
Anyway, all right.
Star Trek: The Motion Picture when they're in the wormhole.
Oh yeah,
catch what you were saying.
Yeah.
Oh, they did that.
They're leaving Earth. They go to warp factor.
They go all the way to 9, I think.
No, they go to warp factor 8, and then what happens is they're just about there, and all of a sudden there's a wormhole that's caused, and that's when everybody starts talking, and they start going, "Time to impact 13 seconds."
Yeah, it's when you're getting that blur effect on the image.
Yes, Mr. Chekhov, stand by phaser.
Oh, that's right.
No.
Delay that
phaser order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I remember that now. Yeah.
Well,
And
so
they
you were
use it all
on.
the time now.
Either way, we're on the right track. I was wondering what a mirror universe of Hitchhiker's Guide would look like.
They'd all have beards.
Just that.
They'd all have Van Dykes.
I just watched Lower Decks tonight, and that involved an alternate universe.
Of course, it's required to have an alternate universe in each one, but I think they would be using their science for evil. Evil.
They had Trace and Frank in the theater, and
for Last of the Wild Horses.
Very underrated.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet, but they did a show this week
on Christmas shorts. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but yeah.
Way to date the episode. Oh man.
Yeah, I remember Last of the Wild Horses, and I'm like trying to keep up with it at one point, and I'm like, all right, this isn't the best one, but it's a funny one.
And it helps that it's different people in the theater this time. And there was a very depressing old Yeller movie they also had on.
It was actually
Painted Hills.
Painted Hills.
Yeah.
Painted Hills.
Yeah.
Painted Hills. Which actually was a pretty good plot. I kind of got into the movie more than normal on that one. I thought it was a decent plot. It was a good kids movie. It was dark, but then they also had Castle Fu Manchu, where Frank.
Oh my word! The longest stitching up of a person ever, and it's just so funny how they're all losing their lunch. They're like, oh god. Oh, Hitchhiker's Guide rules.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, Riff Tracks. Okay.
Yep.
I'm just saying it rules.
I'm still rewatching all the Riff Tracks I bought, and when I get done with that, I'm going to buy some more.
Riff Tracks did the one they did for Mystery Science Theater, and then they did another one.
Okay.
But here's the thing that cracks me up. The guy who wrote the Fu Manchu movie, the Fu Manchu stories, was the same guy who did The Million Eyes of Sumeru. Sax Romer. Yeah.
Sax Romer, yeah.
So he's who we blame if Sandy Frank isn't available.
Well, and there's another Riff Tracks by the same. I'm thinking the same guy, like The Girl from Rio.
Yep, that's the sequel to. That's the sequel to The Million Eyes of Sumeru.
Okay, yeah, it does have the same actress in it.
Yeah,
is that the one with that weird slimy creature on the ground in the market, or is that a different Riff Tracks?
That's every Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah, that's true.
It was KTMA they used it, and then used it in Riff Tracks. Okay. Did you know any of the actors in the Hitchhiker's Guide show before they were on that, or was that kind of their moment in the sun?
The only one I recognized was the guy who was in the swimming pool or in the little pool or bathtub or whatever it was, where he's like in the tub the whole time in the series is what I'm thinking of.
Simon Jones played Arthur.
And he was in a show called. He was in a show Graham Chapman did called Up in the Trees or something like that.
Oh,
Which was Graham Chapman's lone show after Python.
And what I read was it sounded like Adams wrote the part of Arthur Dent with that guy in mind.
Yep.
Because like I said, they did the radio show first.
He had experience with him. What about David Dixon? Who plays Ford? And you had Sandra Dickinson.
No, I don't know him.
She was Trillian.
But no, aside from that, I didn't recognize any of the actors except for the guy towards the end. When
I don't know him. No, I'm just kidding.
He was the captain of a ship who was always in the tub or in the pool or whatever it was. He never got out of it.
Never get out of it, man.
And then when they crash landed on the planet, he was still in that tub.
Any chance Ford Perfect is a reference to Ford Fairlane?
Oh, wow.
Actually, from the book, he was trying to find a human name.
Okay.
And that's what he landed on, but he misspelled perfect.
Okay. How do you spell it?
P-R-E.
P-R-E.
Okay, prefect. Okay.
Prefect is the head of the school when you're in an English school, like a prefect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's the joke.
So it's an actual, it is a word.
You think this is a joke, James? You think this is a joke?
Yeah. Anyway.
Well,
that make you laugh? Am I some kind of clown to you?
Wise guy. Yeah.
Do I amuse you?
This became a gangster show.
That's the way you tell a story.
Do I amuse you? Do I make you laugh? Am I a sort of clown to you?
What a wonderful story, Mark.
No, that's a totally different person.
I know, man, but I wish I was Joe Pesci, man. So I think we beasted it. I think we shot our rocket ship into the sky, and now it's got to come back to Earth or incinerate, one of the two.
Or we could continue going off topic with everything else under the sun.
I also got
this is space junk, and I am gonna stitch the space junk together.
We'll return after these messages.
If you like small-town mystery, crazy news, and wild history, then the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast is for you. Each week, Josh Mills and Wayne McCarty bring you the absolute best Florida has to offer. So if you're looking for a show that's safe for the family, but funny enough to help you escape everyday life, then listen to the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast. That's Florida Men, plural, on Florida Man podcast.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, "Give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win." On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast wrecks and foodie debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening. It's a jacked up